In this episode, we are going to examine the fraud of the Aurora lights, known as the Northern Lights or the Southern Lights, which are being shown around the world and which are also being used to make money. But what if the lights are fake? Yes, many people have thought about this and many people have investigated it. It is well known that many religions are using these lights to make money. Many pundits and priests in India, for example, are related to Buddhism, and even many businessmen are making billions of dollars out of this business. We are also going to examine the story of Skynet and Terminator Genesis and other movies, Gene Sis, or the Jinns, or Terminator Genesis. And we are also going to study the many money-making scam. It's a scam that has been created by bankers and by the elite for international migrants, which is making billions of dollars for Western banks and for Western governments. We are also going to look at the evidence which shows that they are changing and updating history. Gleb Nosovsky, the partner of Anatoly Fomenko, has also mentioned this. And we are also going to look at the history of Guru Gobind Singh and the Sikh religion and the history of Lahore. We are told that Lahore was the capital of the Sikh kingdom of the great King Ranjit Singh in 1799. But we can't seem to find the existence of this city at this time. So it totally destroys the history of Ranjit Singh and also the numerology, yes, which is found in the history of Guru Gobind Singh and the problems found in the history of the Sikh religious texts. So we will have a look at this. And also we are going to look at the basics of cavity magnetrons and the designs and layouts of mosques and churches and power plants and their relation to water. We know that something is wrong with the history of all these great churches. Yes, so let's have a look at all these things today.
Welcome back, David. Thank you very much for continuing the journey with us.
Yes, I'm glad to be back, and today we're going to investigate many things like the introduction says it. So now let's get straight to the point. So now what we could see here is a video of the Masonic Shriners Convention in Miami in 1928. And as you could see, they've got electronic machinery there. So anybody could find these videos. There's many similar videos, not just the Shriners, but other people around the world had similar machinery. And they were using it and showing it off. For example, in Los Angeles, several years before that, they were doing it too. But this machine, for example, creates fake Aurora lights, or the so-called northern lights that you see, that they claim are coming from near the North Pole, and the southern lights that they're claiming that is coming from near the South Pole. So here we're going to go through the evidence, which shows, it actually indicates and shows that these lights are fake. So let's roll. So now go to the next picture. Now here you could read this, including the title.
This is from Reddit. The question is, Northern Lights, a sign from God? Aurora Borealis at this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your church kitchen.
Anyway, the
Top answer, everyone knows it's really because a secret government program, accidental something.
Yes. So many people who've researched these things, who've flown in the area, it's like, for example, flights go. There is actually flights basically almost every day at nighttime. Yes, that go from Japan to Europe, and they fly in the Arctic Ocean. They fly in the Arctic Ocean. This is an actual fact because of the war in Ukraine. And even before then, they flew that way to avoid Russian airspace. I've flown along there. And sometimes they fly along the coast of northern Russia, and you don't see any lights whatsoever, even if you're using your camera or anything else and you're pointing it towards the sky. Nothing. And you don't see any land there. Nobody has ever seen anything. Yes, and some people claim they've seen things, but those are tourist things. But anyway, Northern Lights, a sign from God. Everyone knows in India there's many scammers who are saying, there is the station of Brahma in Hinduism. It's at the North Pole. Yes, and they say, look, the lights are a sign from God. This is the evidence. Well, let's look at this evidence. Many of these people, they make money in India. I mean, religion is $1 billion business. Oh, they're making so much money. You can go and follow them and be brainwashed if you want, saying, I had signs from God. Oh, this is the evidence. Blah blah blah. The Northern Lights. But by the way, what about the Southern Lights? There's lights in the South too. Yes, and are they actually real or are they actually fake? We've had these machines for over 100 years. Yes, to create these lights. Now let's look at these pictures of the machines. The next one. Yes, here you could see it's like people could open these videos and you'll find many companies that were involved in manufacturing these machines. And they had technology even 100 years ago. Now the next page. Now, if anybody watches this video, they'll notice that they had machinery, yes, to actually lift heavy blocks, because some people are saying the heavy blocks, granite and all these other things. And then the next page. Yes. So here are the Masonic Shriners. And the thing is, they are from the Ottoman, but if anybody studies them deeper, I didn't point it out in the last video on purpose. Why should I? People should pay attention. But they say that they were founded by Caliph Ali in Mecca. Now, Caliph Ali and his follower are known to be Shiites. Yes or no, Raphael? Yes?
I should know this, but I don't know. I would have to look it up.
Yes. So Caliph Ali and Eli, from the Bible, and the battle of the priesthood. Everyone knows this is
Yeah,
not a
well, so
small
basically,
thing.
yes, Shiites like Shia in contrast to Sunni. Is that what you mean?
Yes, notice the word she. Yes, the word sheikh comes from this, and the word ski in Albanian, or ski, however you want to pronounce it, or the word as far away as India, and you say Sikh. Yes, and some people say it's related to the word Isaac. Yes, or the bloodline of Isaac, and many other things. We'll go through some of these things today. Now, the next page. Yes. So as you could see, you could read this. So what were they doing in 1928 in Miami?
So here they had the huge searchlight, which created the artificial Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, this is in that video, and there was many people present at the time. Yes, from the city. So go and ask them. Yes. Now the next page. Yes. We could see here is the machinery again. Yeah. They brought it because they were creating these lights. They did them in other places too. And then the next page. Yes. Yeah, so we could see it's the machinery and the next page. Yes, these pictures are just paused from the video so that people could see, it's sophisticated machinery. It's not a joke. Now, the next
Yes,
page. What you will see is that in the next page, that the convention, what they say is the Shriners said, the Masonic Shriners, the convention has fulfilled its purpose of the new imperial potentiate, and that enters upon his responsibilities. So it's something to do with the imperial rule that is there globally. Yes, and there's two sides within this imperial rule. So the Masons notice that the Shriners especially, and these Masons, they are on the side of Caliph Ali or Eli the priesthood and the bloodline. You see the imperial bloodline, and it goes back to Caliph
yes,
Ali or
on the
Eli.
side of the Shiites.
Yeah, or what people say Shia, and
Yeah, yes.
and that's the word Shia. That word is actually in the Quran. It means separate or sect, and it's found in Germanic languages, and believe it or not, but it's related to the word to do with shit and other things, because the wars of the Crusades was actually between two sides, and one side that supported the imperial families, yes, who were behind the city walls, yes, not the side of Jesus Christ, the other side. The original followers of Christ were on the other side. And now some people said, was everybody naked? I did point out, yes, that if people watch the full video or read my books, that Christ opposed this system and that many followers of Christ started to wear clothes. And I also did point out that more people lived in the South and the East, and then they were kidnapped in the 18th century, 19th century, and taken to the North and to the West to work in these industrial factories. Yeah. But of course, many people will say, "Oh no, we're Germans. We were here for centuries. Oh no, we're English. We've been here for centuries. Oh no." Even the Irish will say, "Oh, we were in Ireland even before the English came," but many of them weren't. Yes. Now we will continue this about the forgery of the Northern Lights and the Aurora Lights and the Southern Lights later on. But for now, we're going to move on to something else. So later on in the video, we'll go through all the evidence to do with this. Yes. So now let's move on to the next picture. And now make this bigger. This is from Terminator movie, and it's called Terminator. What? You could read this sign. What does it say?
Genesis, like
Yes,
Genesis.
notice that they put the word Genesis, and Genesis actually it's related to the word gene and geniuses and to the word jinn. This is very important. And so what they talk about is when artificial intelligence or the geniuses or the jinns are fighting against the humans. Now, this story is not mentioned anywhere except in the Quran. Now, this is from the Terminator movie. Now, the next page. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator. Everyone's heard of it. So they talk about Skynet. Yes, and when they make movies specifically for them. And then if you watch it or not, who cares? It's because amongst them, there's two sides, and they're enjoying themselves. They're still here, the ruling families. Yes, and many people don't know who these ruling families are. I'll go to it some other time. So here is Terminator Genesis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you can see the jinns or the geniuses or artificial intelligence or whatever you want to call them. Yes, and they work with electricity. Electricity is an invisible fire, like how the Quran says, without electricity, they die. So now the next page, or without this smokeless fire, they die. So Terminator, 1984. Yeah, this is the movie. People could look for it online. Next page. Yes. So Skynet is the enemy or the internet and things like this. This is the name. Yes. And this is the famous story. Skynet is the enemy. So they've got to destroy it. Yes. And how does Skynet work? The internet works from an invisible flame called electricity. It's a fire that you can't see. Now, if you haven't read the Quran, you won't understand, yes, what it is about this invisible flame and this race of genes or geniuses or genesises and things like this. Now, next page. Yes. Um, so Genesis, the Genesis or the geniuses is actually Skynet or the jinns. They're operating through internet or through Skynet. Yeah, many people have asked me for advice about the Quran, and the thing is, unfortunately, the written manuscript, the current Quran manuscript, was written in Babylon. Cairo was actually Babylon on the world maps until Cairo city was only built just over 100 years ago, and they started about 150 years ago and 100 years ago. So it wasn't even there. There was Babylon City. Yes. So it was Babylon City, and the current Quran, 1924, was compiled in Babylon. It's the Babylonian Quran. That's why you will find all this genius mathematical codes and other things in the manuscript. But the oral Quran is in the mosques. If you want to know the full meanings, go to the mosque. If one person did know, there's hundreds of people in mosques. Yes, to understand the genesis or the geniuses or the jinns. Now, the next page. Yeah, so Skynet. What date? Even in the movies, they show you what date did Skynet become operational?
Oh, wow. On April 19, 2011.
Excuse me, Raphael. Please, I don't want to embarrass you in public, but are you wearing your glasses?
Yes, as usual, and it's pretty
Yeah, so
clear. The
what's
font
the
is big
date
enough.
again?
It's the 19th, which is, as we know, the most famous coding that you've described.
Yes, which is the 33rd degree. You won't understand the 33rd degree without 19. So the next page. Yes. So now many people have pointed it out. The movie is full of numerology and everything, and the people who know, people like me, we all understand all these things because once you know true history, you understand what it is. And if people want, they could carry on believing their fairy tale stories of Jesus Christ in the deserts of the Middle East, or the Prophet Mohammed in the deserts of the Middle East, and all these stories of the Son of God and Muhammad fighting in the Arabian Peninsula, and his followers invading Europe on camels. All this is just fairy tales. It's just bogus. Sorry. Yes. Well, if you know the true history, you will know what all this is about. So the movie is talking about the war between mankind and the jinns, and Satan is one of the jinns. So now the next page. Yeah, so basically showing a Quranic story. So here again, Sarah Sarah Connor Chronicles. It's already there. April the 19th, Skynet came live, 2011. Next page. Yes. So here you could find it everywhere. Hollywood Reporter. They're even advertising it because they want you to notice the date. Skynet, April the
Yes.
19th, 2011. Next page. Yeah,
Only thing
811. Notice it's
yeah, that's why I'm
811.
curious. Why 811, not 911? That's what I'm
Why
curious about.
811? Don't forget why 311. For the Fukushima things. And there's a video I gave you today that you're going to upload.
Uh-huh.
It's about the magic, the magic video. Yeah, that you'll upload at the moment. If people watch that, they could watch the full thing and they'll notice more about the 11s. And to understand the 11, if you have not read the book 33 Degrees and Secrets of Kabbalah, it's too long to explain here. Yes, but it's nine and then 10 or one at the bottom of the Kabbalah tree of life, which makes 11. So now the next page. Yeah, so it means it's pointing to the number 8 within the 11. Yeah, so Skynet, etc. April the 19th, NBC News, they're telling you, the next page, they're telling you it starts Judgment Day. So this number 19, Judgment Day. Now everyone's heard of Maze Runner and the Scorch Trials. Oh, I love this movie. These movies, they're so great. Maze Runner. So now, if anybody's not seen it, all these movies have all these codes. Now the next page, let's see what Maze Runner has to offer us. I love this movie. So, Maze Runner, the Scotch Trials, you could read this. What happens after surviving?
Yes, after surviving horrific conditions in the maze, Thomas is entrapped along with 19 other boys in a scientific experiment
Uh,
designed to observe them.
well, I know you've got your glasses on, but just in case, have you cleaned them? Maybe there's a lot of steam in the room. I don't know. Are your glasses clean? Right.
Yes, they're clean
Yeah.
enough
Okay.
to see it's
Okay,
really the
they're clean. Can
19.
you just
Yes,
read how many of them there were in the scientific experiments along with Thomas? How many?
it was Thomas plus 19.
Ah, I see. Okay, the next page. Yeah, so and they tell you these things because they want you to notice these things. So now here you can read this. The Maze Runner, the Scotch
In Maze
Trials.
Runner's
Uh,
Scorch Trials, though Jack was not mentioned or seen, he survived the maze trials and was rescued with the other 19 gliders.
yes. So they made sure Jack wasn't seen. So and 19 was basically maybe seen or something. So the 19 they're pointing this out. And the people who know, like me, who understand this 33rd degree, will understand what it's about. Now the next page. Yeah, so all the movies, the small ones and things like this, they're all about it. So here it is, Google Books. You could read the book, The Maze Runner, The Scotch Trials, etc. 19 boys. Now the next page. Yes, now here is the Japanese version, like we had the Matrix in our side of the world. Enlarge this, the writing. So in their side of the world, in Asia, they had something called the Returner, the Returner. And this
Oh,
is
cool.
it's very famous in that side of the world. And the Returner. I like it. It's Takashi Yamazaki. Yes, I used to every time I go to Osaka or Fukuoka in Japan. Everyone says, "Kimi wa dare desu ka?" I say, "Watashi wa Yamazaki-san." I like the name Yamazaki ne. Yamazaki, it's one of my favorite names. Well, anyway, Yamazaki did the visual effects, and it stars Takeshi Kaneshiro, who's a cool actor. Yes, so this film was supposed to be their Matrix. So now go to the next page and let's find out about this movie. It's very famous. So you could read about this movie.
So Returner premiered at Shibuya Public Hall on August 19th,
Wait a minute,
2002.
wait a minute, wait a minute. Excuse me, what date was that?
On the 19th of August.
2002. Damn, what's with this 19? Oh, next page. Yeah, so they released it, premiered it that at Shibuya. Shibuya, it's like we're talking, Times Square here. Yes. So
Yes.
the thing, yeah. So this movie, it goes into another thing. The final sentence of the first paragraph, the plot in the movie, it goes time traveling to 2002, where Millie, her mission is to kill who? You could just read the word with capital letters.
Which O'Malley from 2084, losing
Yes,
war with
she
an
has to
alien
kill somebody.
race known as the Dagra.
Yes, yeah, Dagara or Dajara, Dajjal in
Hmm.
yes, or Dajara in Spanish Arabic, because many people focus on today's Arabic, but Spanish Arabic and French Arabic during the Renaissance, Dajara means the degrees. Yes, so this alien race, and so the thing is, they've got to get rid of them. Yes, and so they're known as the Dagara or Dajara, however you want to pronounce it. And so they've got to get rid of them, or it means the end of the days. Yes. So now the next page. Yes. So here is some more details about the movie, and let's see, what was it that I was going to point out? I forgot. Yes. The thing is, but basically, it was it was a mega blockbuster. Next page. Yeah. I don't know why I got that there. The Returner, and you could read this. It premiered
At number one in the Japanese box office on its release, even beating The Cat Returns and Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Resident Evil.
yeah, so that's how good it was. The video is available online with subtitles. It's pretty interesting. It's good. Yeah. Now the next page. Yeah, so that's how well it was, and they planned it. And here is Mizoguchi. Mizoguchi. Ha! You don't mess with Mizoguchi. I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah. So next page. So they're there because they know that Dajara or Dagara or Dajjal is coming. So now, even in the story of this movie, what happens? It's released on the 19th. Yes, the first showing, the main first showing, and then what is the main date that's pointed out in this movie? You could read it.
It is October 19th, 2002, when
Yes,
Miyamoto,
Miyamoto
yes,
is hired. Yeah, he's the hero and is in the middle of killing the crime lord Mizoguchi, and by accident he kills Millie. Yes, who's come to destroy the Dagara. So now the next page. So they're using 19 even in the movie. That was like the main date where he meets Millie and the Returner. It's like the Matrix. It's a pretty cool movie. Yes. Yeah, it's very good. I like it. Yeah. Now the next page. Yes. So the thing is, by the way, here. So you could read this about Europe's population in the 19th century.
so this is from sociostudies.org about the demographic transition in the First World. During the 19th century, the European population more than doubled, growing from
Yes, I'm
180
pointing
to
this out.
390 million people.
Yes. One, it doubled. Two, many people came from the villages. Yes. So they didn't have accurate records of the villages before. So that is why Europe couldn't look after itself. So we mentioned that before, but anyway, it's here. So I thought I'd read it out. Next page. Yes. So because Europe's population doubled, so right now in other parts of the world, like Africa, we have this, and people are saying it's insane. All these migrants are coming. Now, this is very important because there are many people making so much money from the migrants, and soon people will understand why the governments are not exactly really stopping it. And they're saying it's totally crazy. It's insane. Yes. Why they all coming on boats? Now go to the next page. Yeah, and people are angry. There's all these challenges. Now go to the next page. Yes. Oh, what's going on here? You know, to people from Europe, because they had a high birth rate 100 years ago. They went on boats to other people's countries. Oh, this is insane. Yeah,
Indeed.
they went to America, and the Seminoles didn't like it. The Black African Seminoles in Miami, they got thrown out. They were used as slaves to grow cotton for these same people just to wear clothes. Oh, well, nobody talks about that. And they're saying, oh, they came legally. Somebody is turning around saying, what legally? They went and threw people out of their homes. Yes, but I don't see people coming on boats throwing anyone out of their homes here. Next page. Yeah, just go and ask the African American Seminoles. Yeah, so here we have, yes, it had such a high birth rate. So they were kidnapping children from Eastern Europe, especially Eastern Europe and Southern Europe. So the North and the West did not have so many people in the first place. People are saying that they've been there for centuries. It was a smaller population and they were naked, and many people who ran to the North ran because of the Prophet Muhammad's revolution in the North. Next page. Yes, because he was there helping them. Oh my God, this is insane. What the hell? These boats are full and they're going to other people's countries, living their dream. They went to Miami and other places. Oh, they threw these people out of their lands. Yes, the Seminoles locked them up, the African Americans. Yeah, many of them died. The Trail of Tears and other things, and many other things happened. Next page. You know, I mean, what the hell is this? All these migrants from Europe going
Well,
invading other
at
people's
least the
lands.
difference is they seem to have better boats, which are not so dangerous to take, you know?
Well, yes, they had better boats. Yes, because the thing is, to make the better boats, you need money. Well, they used all those people that they stole the land from as slaves. The slaves paid for it. Then they took the land and the homes of the slaves. Thank you for pointing it out. Yes, next page. I'm only pointing this out. I'm not a. Oh my God, they're even saying send these migrants home back where they came from. How dare they tell people from New York, Boston, Charlotte, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Colorado, Los Angeles, and all these people to go back to Europe? How dare they even suggest this? Next page. Yeah, I've shown this before, but today there's something else. Oh my God, migrants entering with guns. I haven't seen these guns anywhere in England, but the next page, yeah, how the media portrays these people. Oh, well, yeah, no. I've seen migrants going from England the other way around to America, to Canada, to Argentina, to Brazil. They
But
did
just
really go with guns.
one important question, these migrants you see here with guns, were they like completely free and sovereign people, or were they also kind of shipped over or
Oh no,
forced
many of
to?
them went. Many of them went because they were kidnapped children who came to England, but they didn't originally come from England. Many were kidnapped from Ireland, but they didn't even
Mhm.
originally come from Ireland. They were taken to Ireland from Eastern Europe and Southern Europe in the first place. So the Irish weren't even Irish in the first place, many of them. What many people don't realize this. So, but then they were grown up adults and they were Christians. They were brought up in Christianity with Christian morals. Shoot to kill. Next page. I'm pointing this out. I'm not going to justify it because we've got many people who are listeners, like from the African American community. They'll say, "Do you know my grandfather's dad? Yes, was shot in the leg in the 1920s. Do you know my grandfather's mom? They murdered her and burnt her in the house." They're going to say, I can't justify this. You see. So now let's show how they're making money out of it. The elite ruling families. It's a big business. Now read this in
In
2023.
2023 as a whole, 29,437 people came to the UK in small boats. In 2022, a total of 45,755 made the crossing, the highest since figures were first collected in 2018. Since 2018, more than 147,000 people have come to the UK on small boats.
Now, next page. Now, I will tell you why the government isn't stopping it. Soon you're going to realize. Go to the next page.
Just briefly to
They're going
ask,
to,
do we know if these figures are correct or also some kind of coding?
soon you're going
Some
to
of it.
realize.
All right.
When because there's boats going to Spain, boats going to France. Now you're going to understand, because the money is coming from African minerals, and all of these people, they're paying. Some are paying 10,000 euros, some are paying 20, some are paying 30,000 euros. So they're paying, yes, 10, 20, or 30,000 euros just to cross. Now let's calculate 150,000 crossing into Spain. Then they're crossing into France, 150,000 people. Then 150,000 people crossing into Italy, 150,000 crossing into England. If they're paying 10,000 pounds or euros a head, what the hell? How much is this? Oh God, this is ridiculous. It's so much money. Yeah, this is great business for my banks. Oh, this is just excellent. It's 1.5 billion euros. I can't believe this. This is coming into European banks for all those idiots who are not working, not doing anything. They're just that's just to England. England coming to British banks just to come by boats. Then they've got no papers, nowhere to live. They've got to pay for all these things, and this money is non-refundable. It's coming from Africa. Then there's another 1.5 billion going to Spain. They're crossing on boats. Then another 1.5 billion going to France. They're crossing to boats. Then another 1.5 billion going to Italy, crossing on boats. Then another 1.5 billion going to Greece, crossing on boats. Whoa, can you imagine this, Raphael? Are you beginning to see something now? This is the minimum amount of cash that I'm going to be making. Whoa, Raphael, I like being a bankster. I like being in this class. Oh well, the peasants don't want to work. They like their mobiles. They like drinking. They don't want to look after the elderly. I gotta pay for these old biddies. Yeah, this is gonna pay for it all. Don't worry. Next page. So that's why I'm not going to stop the boats. So now here, migrant fruit pickers, what do they do?
Migrant fruit pickers charged thousands in illegal fees to work on UK farms.
Yeah, I know about it because I know somebody who works in a recruitment agency, and this thing is very common. And the thing is, that's another $1.5 billion. Wow, that's great. Yeah. So don't worry about it. We need these migrants because the local workers, we can't cheat them all this extra money. I mean, my bank's getting money, and with this money, I could pay for the street lights. Local people don't want to work in Holland, France, Spain, Italy. People just like relaxing, taking government money and things like this. I'm going to pay for all this. Come on, next page. Yeah. Yes. And so here, yes. So you could read this. Don't bother with the title and the papers.
The
Because there's too many.
allegations of illegal fees being paid in Indonesia raise questions about the risk of exploitation in the seasonal worker scheme.
Yeah, because they're coming to England, they've got to pay these agencies. And these agencies are in London and all these cities. Yeah. And all they're just sat there is just making billions. So that's the extra money. This is money that many people are paying just for the application, but it's not refunding. That's another $1.5 billion from all over the world. We're cheating. That's great news. $4.5 billion so far. Next page. Well, I mean, we've got all these people who just want to sex, drugs, rock and roll. Yeah. So here, yes, yeah, you could read
Some
this. Some overseas
overseas
workers.
workers are being charged thousands of pounds in illegal fees by agencies supplying carers to homes and home care agencies.
Well, I'm a home care company. And I got to look after these old biddies. I mean, their kids and grandkids don't want them. I don't want them. Yeah, it's a dirty job. I ain't no cleaner. Yeah, so you know what? I'll find some of these workers from poor countries in the Middle East, in Africa, in India, in Asia. I'll bring them, and then I'll say, hey, you want me to renew the contract for next year? You got to pay me double. And with
That's
that money,
crazy
I'm
because
making.
these people are being already, they are
I'm
coming from
not
a poor
crazy. I'm
country
just making
and they
money
are being
because
charged to work, actually. That's a bit
wait,
crazy.
wait, wait, wait. It's not crazy. I got to make a profit. I'm getting
Of
money from the
course,
old
I'm just
people.
saying it's
The
not
old
really
people,
fair
many of
towards the
them didn't have
workers coming.
children. They didn't get married. They were enjoying themselves. They called it human rights. Now nobody's going to look after them. Nobody wants them. I don't want them either. I just want their cash. Cash. I'm a business. I'm a company. Come on. Come on. You got to understand this. So, I'm charging the high fees when they die or something. Yes, I can sell their house. I'll make the money. The government takes the rest. And that money goes towards the new young generation who just doesn't want to work and they want to do training schemes. They want to go to colleges, universities, waste time, fail exams, go out clubbing or drinking on weekends while they're studying, or if not, they just want to have a laugh. So don't worry about it. Illegitimate children, I got to look after these bastards. Yeah, I'm one of the elite. Of course, this is how I talk behind the scenes. Yeah, but in public, I'll say, ah, we care so much. I'm doing this for the benefit of society. I'm looking after the elderly. I'll have nice magazines, nice brochures, and nice videos showing the good work that I do and social contribution. But in reality, it's like, bastard. Next page. Here. So now, this is the reality. What happens when these migrants come, if they're
So this
officially
is
accepted?
from government UK official website, asylum support, what you will get. You will be given somewhere to live, 49.18 pounds per person on a payment card for food, clothing, and toiletries.
Etc. Okay, basically they give you nothing. You can't live on that. If I had to live on that, I don't know how I'd survive. Oh my God, that's like you know, that's like 7-8 euros a day. It's impossible. Yes, so the reality is the thing is most of them do not get accepted for asylum support, and the majority of them, you'll soon realize this, they end up paying thousands, and in the end, they don't get residency and they go back after 3 or 4 years. And each person is
Wow.
spending minimum 100,000 euros. We're making billions. It's a big business. We need their cash because the local people don't want to work. They're not making any iPhones. They're not
But this
working in any
means
of these
that the
factories.
people that are coming from poorer countries, but they still maybe are middle class or actually more well off,
Yeah, they're the
and then
rich ones who are coming. There's
they
a
try to
billion
come
people
here
in.
and they just get fleeced for all their money basically, and their
Most
work
of
maybe
them are the
even.
richest ones. There's 100 million rich people in Africa now. Yes, there's over 10 million that have got assets worth over $1 million. So we want their cash. Yes. So before they come, another thing they do mistake because they don't know, they don't get residency, so they have to go within a few years, but they transfer their money to European banks. And because these third world countries have dictatorships, they can't send the money back into their own country, so they're stuck. And this stays in our side of the world in Europe and America. It's a win-win situation. We win, and all these peasants in Europe here, they can carry on dancing, drinking, and drugs. Next page. Yes. And then they're saying I'm bad. They're telling me I'm the government and I'm bad. Yes. So here, so now all these nationalists and right-wing people are saying it's costing the government, what do you call it? Yes, $3 billion a year to look after these migrants. Oh, those are the ones, yes, that they're paying for. But then what they're paying for is the smallest amounts. But most of these migrants have got thousands of dollars and they're spending more than this 3 billion just for the boat trip. That's 1.5 billion every year or every few years just for the boat trips. And that's just on the
Right.
minimum basic things. You see? And so the thing is, and they're putting them in hotels. So soon, let's go through the hotels and let's see the reality. Let's go through the reality. People are saying they're in hotels in America, this and that. Yes. And so here it is, smuggling migrants at the border in America. What? Just read the title.
Yes.
Smuggling migrants at the border, now a billion-dollar business.
Yeah. I like it. Let them come in, then we throw them out after they don't get their papers. After their money has been spent and it's stuck in America, that's when they go. You see? Yeah.
I'm just wondering,
It's a
why
great.
are the more well-off people from these countries where they emigrate from not figuring this out, that this is a scam?
Don't tell them. Don't let them find out. Yeah. And then all these nationalists who are saying, "Oh, America's been taken over France, this, that, everything." It's not. So because they're
Okay, but
shouting
it makes
that,
sense, and that's why they're giving these nice brochures and so on. Sometimes you see them for like third world
but then
countries.
the other
It's
thing is
like the
they're going to bring
marketing.
in. Yeah, what they're going to do is they're making you afraid. They're letting the nationalists speak, saying, "Oh, like that Vance from America saying, oh, all these migrants are coming." But then America blows up their houses on purpose, and they want to send the people of Gaza, Iraq, Syria, and all of them over here, selling weapons, and then send them all over here. But then they'll say, "You got all the migrants. My name is Vance. I really care. Me and Trump, we all care." So now to stop the migrants, you need cameras and artificial intelligence and microchips and digital security so that they can't rent houses, they can't buy anything without the digital bank accounts. You see, that's what it's all about. So people are falling for this crap. Now the next page. Yeah, yeah. So here it is. Yeah, yeah. So they're saying unauthorized migrants is costing the government, things like 1.6 billion a year. But soon we're going to see that's a lie. Now the next page. Yes. So soon I'm going to go through it and says, yeah, show that the number of people, now they said 1 million migrants came to England in 2022. Yes. So they came hoping to stay in England. But the next year, 500,000 of them had already left. That's after 500,000 people. Let's see, 500,000 people who paid to come to England. It cost them thousands of dollars. Then they paid thousands in illegal rent because you cannot rent these people property. They're even paying about 4,000 or 5,000 euros a month, or up to 10,000 euros a month. Some of these migrants, yes, for their
So it's like
families. I
five
mean,
billions or more.
yeah, this migrant business just for England is making 50 billion pounds a year. In France, 50 billion euros a year. It's making that much money. You won't believe it. Yeah, next page. Yeah, because they're spending money, food, shopping, this, that, everything. So here they're telling us, you could read this, in the 12 months.
In the 12 months to December 2023, approximately 1.22 million people migrated to the United Kingdom, while 532,000 emigrated away.
Yeah, so all these nationalists and everything, well, they're controlled opposition. They're going to say 1 million people came in. Oh no, they're taking over. But 500,000 have gone. The other 500,000 are going to go the next year after they've spent so much money and realized they didn't gain anything. You see, yes, and then there's going to be another 500,000 who come in, 500,000 go out, etc. It's a business. So now the next page, and they're spending weekly money, this, that, everything. And so here I am. Here's me and my friends. Wow, I'm loving this. Here's the English Prime Minister, and we're celebrating in the banks. We've got all this cash. You see? Yeah, and all these dummies let these stupid, and half these people who are flying the English flag, Scottish flag, and all this saying, send the migrants back, and all this. Look, it's an invasion or whatever. Yeah. Oh, half of them are English and Scottish, and I don't care as long as my bank account's full and I'm getting my bonus, even the workers. Can't you see how happy I am?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Next page. Yeah, and the peasants, I managed to pay for them all. They don't want to look after the old people and all these things. They don't want to look after the illegitimate killing children and anything like that. So now I'm making extra money from all these rich landlords. So the landlords now, instead of charging normal rent price for the migrants, they're charging them triple the rent if you're a migrant. Do you know this? Because read out how much the fine is, the government fine. It's a similar fine in France, Germany, America, Canada.
For landlords, the fines will increase from £80 per lodger and 1,000 per occupier for a first breach to up to 5,000 per lodger and 10,000 pounds per occupier. Repeat breaches will be up to 10,000 per lodger and 20,000 per occupier, up from 500 and 3,000 pounds respectively.
Yeah, so that's why many of these landlords now are taking deposits of up to 20,000 euros. Yeah, saying I'm scared, and many of these migrants, they've got the cash, they're actually paying. And then many of the landlords, you hear stories from London that many of them are just making money, saying, oh no, you've damaged the property, or oh, I got a fine here, and they're producing fake
I'm
letters.
just wondering how much could they do with all of that money in their home countries, where anyhow everything is cheaper to build and everything. They could totally build
Yes, yes.
infrastructure or
So
whatever.
it's their fault. It is their fault. But then who knows? Who knows? So the amount of money that they're spending in France, Germany, everywhere, many of the migrants are like this, but not all the migrants are paying a lot of money. I'm talking about half the migrants are spending that much money. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's like they've just suddenly come to Europe. It's like in their poor countries. If you've ever been to them, there, you will be shocked by the poverty. And when you come here, it's like you can't control it, and you spend so much money. That's what they're actually doing. So they're spending that much money in generating the economy, and the local people, half these people who are doing nothing, just sitting on their ass, not doing anything. So the thing is, the economy would have been dead otherwise. So the next page, it's making a lot of money. You see. So here it is, yes, and so here it is. It says basically illegal migration act. Anyone who arrives illegally, yes, automatically will not be allowed to apply for asylum. It's similar in most of these Western countries.
But they take
Similar
your money
laws.
first.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, and then they think, damn, I just wasted all my time. I just spent, I've just come as one person. I just spent $250,000 or £250,000 or euros. Yeah, well, me and my bank managers, and the elite families that run the banks, we're happy. We don't mind with these things, because then these African nations and these Middle Eastern nations, they have to keep on giving us, their resources, and people can carry on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. At least the people are happy. Next page. Many people are anyway. Yes. So here it is. Yes, it says illegal migration act, etc. You will not be allowed to stay here. You'll be detained and removed, and sent to your home country or to a third country. And the thing is, oh, of course, yes, many of these people, when they detain these people, many of these migrants are carrying 50,000 euros or even 100,000 euros cash. That gets confiscated in most cases, or it
Mm.
disappears. Yeah, even landlords probably take it, God knows. Yeah, so now next page. Yeah, because they can't open a bank account, many of them. So now we've got problems in countries like England, France, America. So as of last week, for example, in 2020, yes, more than
More than 962 million room nights have gone unsold, according to Bloomberg.
yeah, that's 1 billion rooms. And think how modern we are and how much we're wasting in the West. Yes,
Oh yeah.
each hotel room has got televisions, beds, full furniture, and everything. So the thing is, in Europe, we can double the population, and in America, yeah, even off right now. So people are saying, why are they putting these migrants in hotels? It's because the hotels are losing money. So now, if you put the migrants there, many of the migrants are paying, or the government pays for some of the migrants, because the government is actually making money from these migrants. You
Yeah.
see, by these illegal channels, or them, like many of these migrants, do you know what happens? Many of them manage to open a legal bank account, and they transfer money to England. But once they've been deported, they can't transfer the money out. There's
Hmm.
many problems, and it's seen as money laundering, and the money's confiscated, this and that, and other things, all kinds of things. You don't know, so all kinds of fraud are going on, and people are making money. It's time to play. I mean, my friends at Barclays Bank, we're loving this. We're loving this. We're drinking to death here. Yeah. Next page. And sod these peasants, who are protesting about these migrants. 1 billion hotel rooms empty. Oh, what's wrong with these peasants? They've never stayed in a hotel in their life. As long as I got money in my bank account. Stop these peasants. Now, next page. Yeah, you know what I mean. I got shares in Hilton Corporation. I got to make money. You understand? Yes. So, 2020, British hotels. Many of us were forced to open and are. What is? You could read the rest.
Here it says many of us were forced to open and are losing millions. For most of last week, one hotel was completely empty. This is from
Yeah,
2020.
yeah. So I'm, that's my buddy. He's losing money in his hotel. The local people won't stay. They're just they won't even travel. They're sitting in free government houses in government estates throughout Europe. Yeah, taking government money and sitting at home, drinking or smoking weed or something and things like this. They won't even work. I got to give them shoes, clothes, everything. And then we built nice hotels, everything. We built a beautiful country, beautiful continent, everything. They won't do anything. At least these migrants have come. The government pays me, and some of these migrants are paying double or triple, saying, keep it quiet. I'm staying here so that the immigration doesn't catch me. Oh well, my friends in the hotel industry, they don't mind. Yeah, next page. It's business. Business is booming. So here, yeah. So here, even in the Caribbean, yeah, because people from Europe and America, many people aren't even traveling. Empty rooms. Next page. Losing billions. We're just losing billions. And who owns these hotels in the Caribbean? It's us in London, in New York Stock Exchange. So the thing is, read this in Wales.
In Wales, 28,000 international visits were recorded in the third quarter of 2021, a decrease of 88% on the third quarter of 2019, compared to an 86% decrease for the UK overall.
What the hell is going on? What's wrong with these peasants? Yeah, even peasants from the other side of the world are getting modern that they don't even want to come here. Yes, tourism, we're losing out. We've got all these hotels. Think of all these workers, towel cleaners, kitchen cleaners, receptionists. We're going to have thousands of people unemployed, and they're telling me to stop the migrants when the local people won't even travel. Yeah, well, what more do you want me to do? Yeah, next page. I don't know what they think it is to run a country. These people think they could run it. Next page. Next. Yeah. So here it is. It's so bad. Even as far back for the last 10 years, in 2015, how much billion deficit or losses were we basically making then?
So it says Britain had 16.9 billion tourism deficit already in
Oh God,
2015.
you're joking. Oh my God. So what am I going to do? I'm going to plan it back then to say, hey, these people are coming on the boats. Open the door.
Yeah, this is when
They've
it
got
started.
back.
This was the famous quote in 2015 by Angela Merkel, "Wir schaffen das," which meant, "Oh, we can do it," basically accepting any and all migrants, or that's what they said in the media. Hmm.
Yeah, but they didn't give many of them nationality. Nobody understands this. Well,
Hmm.
why don't people tell the Germans in all these villages and towns and cities? Many of the people don't want to work at all. They're not even working. They're not even working. Yeah, that the government, is even porting statistics to say unemployment is low. More than half of the people in Western Europe and America now don't work, and they've never worked, and there's just an attitude, don't want to work. Next page. So what do you want me to do? I'm losing money. Yes, and so not only this, in England we had these crazy people voting, let's go out of the European Union. So they left the European Union in 2016. So now we don't even have the Europeans coming here and everything. So now we're short of money. And so what do they want? They didn't want the white people from Europe. Now we're bringing blacks from Africa on boats. Oh, they're complaining about them. We'll soon stop. What do they want us to do? Get bankrupt? And they won't work. They won't do anything. They won't do anything. They're doing nothing. Absolutely
Well,
nothing.
you
I've
do
got to
know,
look after
David.
the old.
You do know, David, there
What?
would be some things to do because, at least for small businesses and so on, in many European
Well, that's
countries,
the business. That's a few businessmen. Do you think he's going to give the money to the peasants? These peasants don't want to do anything. Raphael, I've got a serious problem with the budget. This is not a joke. I've got to pay for the rubbish collection, all of this. And half these peasants, they don't work, they want shoes. I've got to manufacture the clothes in
Oh,
Pakistan,
sure.
in
I just
India.
want to say that you may be aware that it's very difficult for many small businesses in Europe because the taxation and all the mandatory payments are prohibitively high, that it's difficult to
I've
even
got to
start
make them
something.
high. It's because what happened? The young people, even back then, 30 years ago, they didn't want children then. They still don't want children now. Huh. And then no one's looking after the old. I got to look after them. I got to look after them when they're in their 80s for 10 years. I got to pay for the building, the furniture. It seemed like a hotel and a house. And then nobody even wants to look after them. I got to pay for migrants to come just to look after the old people
Right.
as well. I'm not having this. Tell them damn peasants to shut up. Yeah, either start working or shut up. Yeah, it's a headache. I've got to look after. Then they're going to protest on the streets when I give them clothes. Can you believe this? And then they're going to turn around and say, our ancestors wore clothes. Oh, they grew it like this and they made it. Where? Don't talk rubbish. You didn't even know how to make clothes or anything. Oh, our ancestors did farming. No, you didn't. It was my ancestors, the elite. Yeah, who lived inside the city walls. We didn't let you use the land for anything. Yeah, you were all just naked peasants. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. And now that we gave them clothes because of that revolution of that damn guy, you know what's that man called who did the Crusades and then took our capital city at the time and gave these peasants the freedom? What's
The
that guy
Prophet,
called again?
the Prophet
Who?
Muhammad.
Yeah, that damn name. Albert Pike doesn't like him either, nor does anybody else in my elite group. We don't like this guy, man. And now these peasants, they're even speaking. They're speaking up and they're saying they want more. What the? Get on to the next page. I'm not hearing this. Next page. Yeah. So now many people are going to say, what are these amazing buildings? We don't know how they built them. They're in the countryside.